The world is moving to the cities. Did you know that 63% of the American population lives in urban cities? 180,000 people move into cities across the world every day. That is nearly 5.5 million people a month. Yeah, that's a lot. Think about this. Over the course of less than 300 years, our world will have shifted from one in which only 3% of people live in cities to one in which 80% are resident in urban areas. Not only are jobs taking people to the city, but residents are staying longer. Young families are choosing to raise families, and singles are graduating college and staying in their particular city. It is becoming more and more apparent the importance of cities. So, how does the church respond? What is the best way to bring the gospel to the city? Is that even our responsibility? Jesus tells his disciples in Matthew 28:19 and 20, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you." See, churches began in the first century because Jesus took the good news to the disciples. The disciples took the good news to others, who then took the good news to cities, which resulted in churches. We are a part of a church because someone shared the message of Jesus with others. Planting churches is the method by which the gospel is spread. Do you know what church plants are really good at? Reaching those who are far from God. You heard that right. Did you know that 1/3 of all church plants have a majority of people with no church background? That means their congregation is primarily made up of people who are unfamiliar with any gospel news. 1/3 of their members went from unfamiliar to trusting Christ as Lord. No other churches do this as well as church plants. Are you interested in this type of work? We are. So, how does this work? What is our local congregation's role? Where do we begin? What role can you play specifically? Step 1. We pick an urban city God is calling us to. Step 2. We begin to ask God to raise a church planter within our congregation or find one through a church planting partner. Step 3. We train this planter and his family for the transition. Step 4. The planter begins to recruit families to plant along with his family. Hey, that could be you. Step 5. We commit to resource and care for the planter in various ways. Step 6. We involve ourselves in the work through various trips. So, why do we care about church planting? Because God cares about church planting. We believe all people should have access to the gospel. If the Great Commission is going to be fulfilled, church planting is one of the ways it is going to be fulfilled. So, will you join us in this work?